Hello students. So we shall continue with our next concept, that is basic steps in genetically modifying an organism. So the basic steps to genetically modify an organism are as follows. So these are the three steps, right? These are the three steps for genetically modifying an organism. Genetically modifying an organism means what? How you can genetically modify an organism. See, an organism can be genetically modified when you introduce a foreign gene in that organism. Now you consider the organism. So here the organism that we shall consider is E. coli, a bacterium, right? So how you can genetically modify this E. coli? So this can be done by introducing a foreign gene. Right? This E. coli can be genetically modified by introducing a foreign gene, also called gene of interest, also called desired gene, also called selected gene, right? So we can modify this organism, that is E. coli, by introducing foreign gene, gene of interest, desired gene or selected gene. So when a foreign gene enters an organism, right? When a foreign gene enters an organism, that organism becomes genetically modified, right? Because that gene is not the original part of that organism. Right? The gene which we are introducing in the organism, it is not the original gene of that organism. That gene is from another organism, right? So gene from one organism, if it is introduced in another organism, right? Now for example, you consider organism A and organism B. Gene from organism A, if it is transferred to organism B, right? The gene from organism A is transferred to organism B. So this A, it can be called as the selected organism. It can be called as selected organism. So from this selected organism, the gene, which is called desired gene, is transferred to organism B. Now this organism B, it receives a foreign gene, right? This organism B receives a foreign gene. So this organism B, since it receives the gene from A, this becomes genetically modified. So B becomes genetically modified because it gets a foreign gene which is originally from A. So this is how you can genetically modify an organism. So this is the simple procedure what I have told you, how you can genetically modify an organism. So the three basic steps. So these are the three basic steps, right? The first is to identify. So first you have to identify the gene. Second step, you have to transfer that gene, or you have to introduce that gene into the selected organism. And the third step, you have to culture that organism in a culture medium, that is called maintenance, right? So maintenance of introduced DNA in the host and transfer of DNA to the progeny. So in the last step, what is done? That particular organism is cultured in a culture medium. It is grown, it is developed in a culture medium where it replicates or where it reproduces, and that gene is passed to the progeny, that is to the next generation. So these are the three basic steps in genetically modifying an organism. So first step is identification of gene, second step introduction of that gene, and third step maintenance of that gene in that host and transfer of that gene to the progeny. So the first step, identification of DNA with desired gene, right? So first desired gene is identified from a particular organism. The second step, introduction of identified DNA into the host. So you have to select a host. So the common host that is used in biotechnology is E. coli. So you have to introduce that identified DNA or desired gene in the host. Now how this desired gene is introduced in the host? Again same procedure, right? How you introduce this desired gene in the host. So for that you require a plasmid. So plasmid is taken, it is treated with restriction enzyme, that plasmid becomes open. So this is the plasmid. After treating with restriction enzyme, it becomes open like this. So closed plasmid, this is open plasmid. So it is, you can say it is cut here. When it is cut, it becomes open. And this is with the help of restriction enzyme, which is called molecular scissors. Next, what is done? That desired gene is fitted here like this. So desired gene is fitted in the plasmid with the help of another enzyme, that is ligase, right? Another enzyme called ligase or DNA ligase, which is molecular gum or molecular glue. So with the help of that ligase enzyme, desired gene is fitted in the plasmid, and you get what you get? You get a recombinant DNA. Now this recombinant DNA, it is introduced in the host, right? So this is how a foreign gene is transferred in the host cell, or a foreign gene is introduced in the host cell. So that is the second step, introduction of identified DNA. Identified DNA means foreign gene, gene of interest, desired gene, selected gene, all are same, into the host. This is the host, Escherichia coli. So after transferring desired gene in the host, what is the last step? The last step is to culture, right? The last step is to culture the host cell in a culture medium. So what is this culture medium? So imagine a glass plate which is called Petri dish. So Petri dish is a glass plate. In that a solution is taken. That solution is called the culture medium. So culture medium is a solution containing nutrients, culture medium is a solution containing nutrients, right? So it is having certain carbohydrates which is used as food by host cells, right? So host cells obtain food or nutrients from culture medium. Next, what is done? The E. coli cells are added in this culture medium taken in petri dish. So petri dish, in that culture medium, in that E. coli cells are added. So this is called the culture of E. coli cells. So this is how the culture of E. coli cells is produced in the biotechnology labs. Understood the procedure? So how a culture of E. coli cells is produced in biotechnology labs? First, a petri dish is taken, in that culture medium is added, to that culture medium E. coli cells are added, right? Now these E. coli cells, they obtain nutrition or food or nutrients present in the culture medium, and in this culture medium these E. coli cells, they reproduce. One E. coli cell divides to produce 2 E. coli cells, 2 divide to produce 4 E. coli cells, 4 divide to produce 8, 8 produce 16, 16 produce 32, 32 produce 64, they go on dividing. So in that culture you get many E. coli cells. So this is called culture of E. coli cells, right? So that is the last step here. Maintenance of introduced DNA in the host. So you are maintaining that introduced DNA in the host by culturing it or by cultivating it in the culture medium. Now in the culture medium E. coli cells, as I told you, in the culture medium E. coli cells divide, right? They divide and they produce new generation or progeny or offsprings or new E. coli cells, right? So that foreign gene which is present in E. coli cell, now it is passed to the progeny or it is passed to the next generation, right? So when E. coli cells multiply or when they reproduce, that desired gene is passed to the next generation. So this is called the third step, where the desired gene is passed to the progeny. So this is how you can genetically modify an organism, right? So you may expect a question. Explain or mention the steps in genetically modifying an organism. So you have to write these 3 steps for a 3-mark question. I hope all the 3 steps are very much clear to you. Next, we shall consider the tools of recombinant DNA technology. So what are the tools that you require in recombinant DNA technology? So the tools are enzymes, cloning vectors and competent host. So these are the important tools that are used in recombinant DNA technology. What do you mean by tools? So tools, they can be considered as the requirements, right? Tools are the requirements. Now for example, if you want to write something on a paper, you require some tools. So what tools are required if you want to write something on a paper? You require pen, you require pencil, you require scale, you require eraser. So sharpener, eraser, pencil, scale, pen, they are all called as tools which you use in writing in the notebook or drawing any diagram. Similarly, for recombinant DNA technology, you require certain tools which are enzymes, which are cloning vectors and which are competent hosts. So these are the 3 basic tools required in recombinant DNA technology. Details of this recombinant DNA technology we shall consider in the coming videos. So enzymes, the basic enzymes that are required here. The first one is restriction enzymes. Already you know it, right? Restriction enzymes. Its example is restriction endonuclease. So enzymes like RE, that is restriction enzymes, basically restriction endonuclease or molecular scissors. Then another enzyme is DNA ligase or molecular gum. Another enzyme is DNA polymerase. Another enzyme is DNA polymerase. So DNA polymerase is mainly used in the synthesis of DNA, right? DNA polymerase is an enzyme required for synthesis of DNA. So these are the various enzymes used in recombinant DNA technology. So restriction enzymes, DNA ligase and DNA polymerase. Then cloning vector. The vector which is used in cloning, gene cloning, it is called cloning vector. What is this vector? Vector is a vehicle. Vector is a vehicle to transfer desired gene from here to here. This is selected organism. And this is the host. Gene from A is transferred to B. So organism A and organism B, these are the two organisms. So gene from organism A is transferred to organism B. So here we call organism A as the selected organism. The organism which receives the gene from A, it is called host. So vector is a vehicle to transfer desired gene from A to B, or vector is a vehicle used to transfer desired gene from selected organism to host. So genes are passed or introduced or transferred from selected organism to host by using a vector which is commonly called plasmid. So the cloning vector is plasmid. So plasmid can be taken as an example of cloning vector. Here vector is a vehicle. Vector is a vehicle to transfer gene from selected organism to host. The example of vector is plasmid. Right? So plasmid is used as a cloning vector, right? So this is the vector which is used in cloning desired genes. Then competent host. The meaning of competent, capable, right? Capable host. Host is the organism which receives desired gene, right? An organism which receives the desired gene or foreign gene is called as host. So the host which is capable of cloning genes, it is called competent host, right? So host has to be competent, right? The host has to be competent enough to clone the gene. That's why it is called competent host or capable host. So these are the example of competent host. So the example of competent host is E. coli, right? So E. coli is the commonly used host. So these are the important tools used in recombinant DNA technology. So with this we will stop here and continue in the next video. Thank you.